Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Sweetie C. How you doing today? I hope everyone is having a blessed day. We are going to have a special segment tonight on Yo, what's up? I'm so excited. Yes. As you can tell by the title, we will discussing Kim Potter. Let me get it together, y'all. Let me get it together over here. Yes, we will be discussing Kim Potter, who was sentenced only to 2 years for the killing of DAUNTE Wright. So let me go ahead and bring on my co-host, Mr. That's What I Said. Hey, what's up? Let me take you off mute.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on?
Not much. How you doing?
Pretty good. It's been an interesting day. Get to see how justice in America doesn't work again.
Is it justice?
It's injustice.
Is there really justice in America?
There's injustice in America. That works perfectly.
That works perfectly. Well, we're not going to be alone tonight. We actually have a special guest with us. So, you want to tell who it is, or do you just want?
Oh yeah, no problem. So we want to talk about. I definitely want to complain a little bit about how bad this sentencing is, but complaining doesn't get you very far. So we also want to talk about solutions, and when we're talking about solutions, that's what our tribe is all about. So we invited Ro Brumfield to be on the call with us to kind of talk about, let's talk about this situation, and then before we get out this call, talk about real solutions and how it impact us right here where we are. So.
All right, let's go ahead and add Ro to the stream. Happy Friday, Kirby.
Hey, family.
What's going on?
Man.
I did not know that I was actually going to be on camera. So yeah, if that's a requirement, it'll take me a few moments to get set up. But trust me, y'all don't want to see me right now. So
we're good.
So
you can speak like that if you want to.
Okay, perfect. So how y'all doing this evening?
Good.
Real good. Real good.
I'm actually a little disappointed, but I don't want to get into it. But yeah, so we're on here. We're gonna be discussing ex-officer Kim Potter sentenced to 2 years in the killing of DAUNTE Wright after she said she mistook her gun for a taser. Now, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about this case, and there's a lot going on. First of all, so in Hennepin County, I'm not sure Minneapolis. In late December, they found Kim Potter guilty of first and second degree manslaughter for shooting Wright, a 20-year-old unarmed Black man in the Minneapolis suburb of Brooklyn Center. Potter, who is white, claims she mistook her gun for a taser when she fired on Wright to stop him from driving away.
So I just want to clarify. She was sentenced for first-degree murder, right? And first-degree manslaughter.
Let me get to that. So what she was actually
convicted of, yeah.
I'm reading was convicted of first and second degree manslaughter.
Okay.
So she did get the conviction that they were going for, just not the time.
Yeah, and they requested 7 years and 2 months. That's what the prosecutor requested.
7 years and 2 months, and she only received 2 years.
Correct. She only has to serve 2/3 of that sentence, or 16 months.
16 months. Yeah.
Is this in a federal jail?
No, that's state.
No,
That's
it's
state.
state. Yeah, Fed she would do day for day, but state, yeah, 16 months for life.
So this is not even a federal case. This is just
Yeah. This is state. Murder charges is typically state, unless it's just on federal grounds or something like that. So.
okay. Again, y'all, we got Mr. That's What I Said. We got Ro on here. Of course, I'm Sweetie C. We're talking about this Kim Potter's case. Now, from my understanding, she said that she normally puts her pistol on one side of her, and instead she put it on the other side, which is why she mistakenly drew a taser.
No, I mean
mistakenly drew the firearm, the gun, thinking it was a taser.
Yeah, I mean the setup is, I can't remember which one whatever her dominant hand, her pistol's on the dominant hand side, and the taser's on her off hand side, and there is literally no mistake in that. if you
yes, yes, almost impossible. How long she's been a police officer? How long she's been?
They say she's 26 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Taser's been out 15 years, so good. You've been wearing that same setup. You've been taking off and putting on that same setup every day for over 10 years.
Yeah. And then one day you decide. But I mean, even is a taser in a holster?
Yeah, it's in a holster, but it's on the other side.
And it's backwards.
Yeah, it's backwards. Yeah. It's a
but
very.
You still have to press the taser.
But
you don't shoot one.
The trigger is different. The safety is different. I don't know her. I don't know.
It feels different. It's not the same size of
the weight.
Yes,
everything is different.
Yeah, it's very different.
You know what I don't like about this whole thing. Whole thing, minus outside the 2 years. The judge is like they shoot marbles together. She said the judge added she drew her firearm thinking it was a taser. How does the judge know that?
Oh, the judge did a whole bunch of stuff. Keep on going though.
Yeah, I haven't even got to judge. That's what I said. This whole thing is.
That's the main thing. It was an extremely difficult decision. Hold on one second. What? She said rightfully there should be some accountability, but basically, the cop who made a tragic mistake. How do you know that she made a tragic mistake?
Yeah, she said, and obviously she is remorseful. What's obvious about it? Because she blonde hair, blue eyed. I mean, what makes it so obvious that she's remorseful?
And if I was a cop, I'd be crying if I'm getting ready to go to jail too.
Yeah.
So take the tears out the equation.
My thing. Keep on going. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, I'm good. No, that was it. That was just the main thing. Just seemed like the judge was on her side.
But yeah, she said that he was driving away. She said he was driving away.
Yeah, but that didn't warrant a death sentence. And on top of that, she wasn't trying to kill him. She's a terrible police officer. So it was, according to her words, it was not requiring deadly force. Okay. She's a bad cop and didn't know how to use non-lethal. And then she used deadly force in a situation that she determined did not require it because she wasn't trying to use deadly force per her words. Right. So she's a terrible, terrible cop. She made a judgment. She couldn't execute it. So she's wrongful in how she executed it. She's wrongful, and she shouldn't have been trying to shoot anything at that particular point in time. None of the other cops pulled a weapon. She's the only one that pulled a weapon. So, but this is what I want to make sure we understand. The court trial is over. The whole is she guilty? Did she mean to do it? All that's over with. She is found guilty. We're at sentencing. Any more talk of her not being guilty or she didn't mean it, that's for appeal.
But she admitted it's like she also went off for her criminal history and said she was remorseful.
Yeah, well, yes, of course. You were remorseful after you've been found guilty and you're about to go to jail. you know, but the thing is, judges and the prosecution are supposed to be representing the people, the victims, against criminals. She is a convicted criminal. That judge sat up there and protected the criminal. Her entire dissertation about why she's remorseful should not even been part of the conversation. It should have been about there's a life gone, a 20-year-old young man who will never, who won't be a father to his child, won't be a son to his parents. She's supposed to be protecting the victims, and we've gone beyond whether or not Potter's a murderer. She's a convicted murderer. That is fact. And she spent all that time trying to make a convicted murderer sound okay. And what she did not do was protect the victims in the best interest of the people. In most cases, in a lot of cases, right? The ones I've seen, I watch court TV. Judges say, hey, listen, you can be a model citizen all the way up until you're not. And if you break the law, there are consequences, and there are guidelines for judges to go by. She decided to ignore the guidelines. She said, to hell with the guidelines. The minimum sentence on the guidelines is 7 years. She said, to hell with that. And then she cried because I got to give you these 2 years. Just think about this. She didn't cry when Dante's mother was on the stand. She didn't cry then when he was giving testimony about they're missing their son and their son is gone and they want justice. She didn't cry then. Only time tears came in her eyes is when she let that lady only get 16 months in jail.
You know what this reminds me of? Amber Geiger's.
Absolutely.
So is this like a new thing?
I was gonna say Cal Rittenhouse when him and the judge was like 1 foot away from each other, watching the video and stuff, like they were playing video games together or something. That has influence. If I'm on the jury and I see the judge and the defendant kicking it, of course I'm gonna be leaning towards not guilty. Plus I want to go home. Yeah. So the justice system, like Will always says, is working as it's designed. As long as you have people do not have our best interest in mind, our community best interest in mind, of course, 2 years is worth. I mean, of course, a life is worth 16 months. 16 months? You know how quick that's gonna go? And if she's back out on the street hitting the Fox circuit or getting money or getting fundraisers and all other good stuff, because they gonna take care of her. She gonna get taken care of.
So let's listen to this. Is what the judge had to say. Hennepin County Judge Regina Chu called the sentence an extremely difficult decision. In justifying it, she pointed to several mitigating factors, saying it was undisputed that Potter never intended to use a gun. Chu told the court she took it into the 4 reasons for incarceration, retribution, incapacitation, deterrence, and rehabilitation, saying retribution would be the only purpose served in Potter's case. There rightfully should be some accountability, she said, but Potter is a cop who made a tragic mistake, the judge added. She drew her firearm thinking it was a taser, ended up killing a young man. She called this case highly unusual, noting 2 other cases involving police officers tried in that court. Is this highly unusual?
Which part? It's highly unusual for police officers to go to trial for murdering citizens. They're on average, every year, police officers in the United States kill about 2,000 citizens. Less than 100 of those get charges. Less than 10 of those actually go to trial. And prior to last year, it's typically only 1 or 2 that even gets a guilty plea. A guilty sentence. So what's unusual about it is she had a police officer in her courtroom. It's not unusual that they kill citizens.
Does anyone remember if she yelled taser, taser, taser? Uh,
She
did
did
she?
not. She did. She did. She did. She said taser. Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess, or I mean, the lady being white didn't play a factor
Of
in this
course it
role.
did.
So should white people realize that they're not exempt?
They had to do something. Something had to be done. This is the minimum something that had to be done. I'm still caught up on the fact that the judge take liberties of being inside her head. How could you know she made a mistake? How could you possibly know that? And so, how are you qualified to even say that? You pull your pistol, if it's on your dominant hand, like Will says, and you pull, that's instinct. I still instinctively think in my mind that she meant to pull her pistol. I think that you have to do a whole bunch of other stuff, cross over your body, grab your taser, take it off safety. It's a whole lot of mechanics got to go before you pull a safety. Pistol is a lot quicker, and she just instinctively put her pistol on the black man. I just that's my thought. It would always be my thought.
I wonder if training comes into factor in these cases.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know. I don't like the argument about training. Okay, let me tell you why. I've been in banking 30 years. If I do something that don't let your paycheck go into your account, you don't care about my training. What you care is you can get your paycheck and somebody better fix it. All you care about is accountability. The training don't matter. She has a job. If she wasn't trained to do the job, she should have took herself off the street. She should have said, go sit myself down. Now, as I understand it, that lady was overtraining for that department.
That's the part I'm
So,
getting to. Let me
are
qualify.
you serious?
Exactly. You should have been the last person that shot somebody. So that's what I'm saying. That much year. You had thousands of you put thousands of rounds down range. You went through hundreds of hours of scenarios. You train other people. You should have been the last person to go for your right hip.
But even if it's training, what does that matter? We don't tell somebody to rob the gas station. If you had better training, you wouldn't have actually pulled the trigger on that cashier. Only thing
I
that
tell you
matters is
something.
you killed the person.
I mean, I'm not. What training I think does have, like, if you were trained to use your equipment properly, you should know how to use it, and that should be brought up. That should be something like, yeah, if you had training, why are you out here just accidentally putting your taser on one side and your gun on the other? And then,
Well,
like you said, you're overtraining. So you should know something. And if
Will
this
I,
haven't happened in 26 years, then, but then again, I also agree that cops need to, if they don't feel like they can do the job, or they too stressed out, they need to retire. They need to go ahead and just retire. I don't know why folks be trying to stay on the job for life.
I see exactly what you're saying. No matter what training, no matter what, she killed a person. So let's focus on that, and let's make sure she's responsible for that. So I see what you're saying. But
Yeah,
what I
she was not only that, she was found guilty. Listen, when they send our kin folks away for generations, right? What they
right.
tell us is the court found them guilty by their peers. So now we got to do this, right? But oh no, there's this magical there's this magical button somehow that allows certain people to get special treatment. There is no doubt she was found guilty in a court of law of murder. She's a convicted killer. Why are we talking about a convicted killer like they're a good person? We don't talk about any other situation where a convicted killer is a good person.
You are correct.
So is it because she's white?
No, I just want the same energy.
I mean, I got this little glow on my forehead. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, she spoke highly of her because she's white. Would this judge speak highly if it was a black person?
She should have been speaking highly of the victim.
I agree. I totally agree, but I wonder, is this have to do with the fact that she's not just a cop, but she's a white cop?
Oh yeah, I think in this, in my opinion, um, uh, white women, especially with blonde hair, their cries are a victimization is something that is a default. They can cry victim when nothing has happened. Ask Emmett Till. Ask the hundreds of other people that's got caught up in stuff. They can cry victim and the whole system comes to their rescue. And we'll figure out the rest later.
Yep, it sparked Black Wall Street.
There you go. Another example. White woman said black man looked at her wrong. Burnt the whole town down.
They were just looking for a reason. They wanted to do that anyway.
Yeah, they did. But that was more than enough. That was more than a good enough reason.
So do you think the sentencing was fair?
Absolutely not. The minimum for her charges was 7 years, and I think the maximum was 20-something years. The right thing to do, if she was going to give her special treatment, was to give her half of what the maximum was for taking a person's life. That's giving grace based on their standard guidelines. But she decided that in the state of Minnesota, the standard guidelines as applied to everybody else when it comes to the same circumstances were not good enough. The standard guidelines are not good enough for this lady. I'm throwing them out the window and I'm doing this other thing.
So is this a norm? You think this is a norm in Minneapolis?
So in the past 5 years, so they've had 3 police officers be on charges for murder. And prior to that, nobody in the state of Minnesota, not a police officer, had been charged with murder. Mr. Muhammad Noor, I think Noor, I may be saying his name wrong. Muslim, Somali American, black man in America, Muslim religion, killed a white woman, Australian national. He was sentenced to for first degree murder. The maximum years that he could have gotten was 25 years. They gave him 12 and a half years. He had to fight all the way to the Supreme Court, and it got reduced down to 5 years. This lady didn't even get nowhere near that on the first go round. The next one was Derek Chauvin with George Floyd. So they've had 3 cases in a short period of time with police officers with 3 very, very, very different results. But prior to that, nothing was happening in Minnesota, not in Minnesota, not with police, besides them getting off. Because I guarantee you they've been killing people, but they just haven't been going to trial. What you think, bro?
You know, I was sitting here thinking, there must be a certain dynamic in Minnesota because we didn't even know they had hands like that. We didn't even know that they, was that, outspoken and can have that much social justice to, to shine that much light on George Floyd. But you're right, they were that mad for a reason. So they must have been going through this historically and just getting away with the stuff just at normal, or that's just a minority. That's just normal, whatever. So I guess, you can only do so much for so long before something happened. And this is that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. And that judge crying, just like the Amber Geiger judge, get off the bench and went and hugged her.
Hug.
I mean, oh, come here, po baby. What? Convicted killer. Hey,
even if she wasn't convicted. She still murdered someone. So it's like
we'll say, treat her like her conviction.
right.
That's how they do everybody else, right? Once you get convicted, you're like, we don't want to hear that noise no more, right? You convicted, but she got these special circumstances,
Yeah, they say as soon as he convicted, all right, sheriff, come get her. Turn around, put them clanks on her, and walk up out of there and go through the process. That's exactly what should have happened.
The family pleaded for the judge to hand Potter the highest penalty. Family members seized on Potter's trusted position as an officer, and they contrasted her ability to rejoin her family and watch her sons grow to a life sentence without right. This is just sad. It's just it's like another disappointing verdict.
Yep. And it won't be the last.
Amongst many.
I don't want to say the obvious, but everybody they mad at is an elected official. I just want to say that.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's what I want to bring up, because we done spent 26 minutes complaining, and I don't want to spend this whole call complaining, because to me this is a very important, critical moment. Okay, it's in order to make our Black community better, we got to stop complaining about everything and do something about it. Okay. Obviously, that judge had more sympathy for the criminal than the victim. And if that was your family member, you would be pissed off at that judge. We pissed off at it, ain't even our family member. But the truth of the matter is, right here in Texas, in Tarrant County, you have an opportunity to make sure a judge like that don't get on the stand. Now, I'm going to start this off because Ro actually got all the details on it. So I definitely want to get him in it. But right now, you have a person running for a judge, county judge, Betsy Price, who, and I'm going to play a video here in a minute. She is openly campaigning that she is against Black Lives Matter. Now, what you need to do is just forget the BLM thing and just insert Black folks. Okay? Because the thing is, she is openly campaigning that she is against Black Lives Matter, and she's on the ballot to become a county judge. So
I think we did a disservice to ourselves a little bit when you have Black Lives Matter and then you have Black Lives Matter organization. You have a lot of Black people who don't have faith in the Black Lives Matter organization because they don't know where the funds went. They don't feel like they were transparent about their position, and they also, a lot of people say they don't feel like they were really for Black straight men, the Black Lives Matter organization.
Yeah, but the nuances
push against Black. I know you're talking about Black, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of people there's some people who are against Black Lives Matter, and they say they're against Black Lives Matter, but when we say we're for Black Lives Matter, we're not talking about the organization. We're actually talking about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, because those nuances you're talking about is not the nuances that Betsy Price even know about, nor her supporters.
Some of them, they do. They're aware of the Black Lives Matter because that's who they call Antifa.
Just really quick, when she made that statement, she was talking about a specific set of events that when they say defund the police, we were just trying to reallocate sources, which did happen because now we do have a less police force to go and handle certain issues. So that part did work. They took money from the military police force and took it to a non-gun carrying force, and now they can do certain things that police used to do. That's all they were asking for. But when Betsy Price said she's quote unquote Black Lives Matter activist, she was talking about us. There's not an official Black Lives Matter chapter in Fort Worth, to my knowledge. She was talking about the people that normally that normally speak out against racial and civil rights injustice. She was talking about us.
She's talking about 3 people on this call.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So there's
I'm just clarifying for the audience the difference, because some may think they're thinking Black Lives Matter, the organization that they were in, Black Lives Matter organization versus actually Black Lives Matter, saying our lives matter.
No, that's what I said. I was clarifying what you were saying, because when she said that, There is not an official Black Lives Matter chapter. She wasn't just talking about a chapter. She was talking about us.
Right. That's
She
what,
was
yeah.
talking about black folk.
Yeah. We're okay. Yeah. We're on the same page.
Yeah. There is no Black Lives Matter group in Fort Worth. So she's talking about us.
Talking about our black butts.
Yeah.
So when Black Lives Matter went out to protest,
there is no Black Lives Matter group in Fort Worth.
I know there's no Black Lives Matter group in Fort Worth, but there are people that I've seen on who have come out against Black Lives Matter organization, even though we don't have a Black Lives Matter in Fort Worth. You get what I'm saying?
She talking about us.
I know what she's talking about.
United Fort Worth, Brotherhood, our tribe. She's talking about people that's proactively addressing their BS. The stuff that's obviously wrong, obviously illegal, obviously racist. If we call them out, that's activism to them. The U.S. was based on racism, so if you call that racism, you call not you against the U.S. all of a sudden. So no, she's using dog whistles to get her base riled up because Black Lives Matter, and they just use certain words and certain phrases. She just did that to get elected, but she showed who she truly was, and she's been the longest mayor in Fort Worth forever. So the funds and all the allocations that should have been coming to us wasn't coming to us.
Yeah, and now she's going to be, or she got a very good chance to become that just because of name recognition alone. Tarrant County judge.
And I did not know how powerful that position was. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit ignorant on this process, but I got educated. That position is so powerful. It actually allocate funds for the police. It actually it is almost as powerful or more powerful than the mayor. The Tarrant County judge. I thought it was something about criminal or something like that. Those are different district judge. The Tarrant County judge has a lot of power. They can move this direction of the city wherever, and that's why she wants that particular position.
Yeah, and what we know she's not going to do is do anything to help us and our community. She's not going to do anything for the betterment of our community. And so when people say we shouldn't vote, you absolutely should vote in local elections. Look, let me tell you who you don't want in that position: her. Because see, news reporters are not going to follow around her every move like they did when she was a mayor. She's going to make changes, do things, and we won't know about it until we get something happens, and we got to be outraged. But it's too late. That's too late. We got to stop being reactive and understand, just like Rose said, some of these positions, they really do matter, and they would matter way more than voting for a senator or voting for, a congressman or a governor. That position matters greatly for the people in Tarrant County. And the voting for that, I know early voting already started, and I may have gotten some of the dates off. I don't know if you know, Ro. But that position matter, and we need to show up and show out.
So do y'all know who's running against her?
Right now, they're doing the different parties. So she's running against somebody that's backed by Trump. So I don't even think Betsy Price is going to be an issue here later on anyway. It's Republicans running against each other. But of course, I'm going for Deborah Peoples. She's the Democratic nominee. I have walked over 1,000 homes for her, trying to get people in various elections over the years, try to get people to vote for her. She has really, really, really shown over the years that she's ready for that position. And also Albert Roberts, he's going for the district attorney. They're still in the Democratic. He has a couple of Democratic opponents, but we definitely want to get that brother in. He graduated from Dunbar High School, went to I believe Prairie View, went to he gonna get me who's the black Supreme Court Justice, Thurgood Marshall. He went to the Thurgood Marshall attorney school college. So, and then he came back to help his community. So we've done everything that the community's asked him to do. We need to do what he asking us to do to vote for him.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question too. So I had a conversation earlier today with a friend, and we actually got into it because he was just like, I ain't voting for no Democrat because I know how Democrats are and they're going to take our guns away. And I was like, Democrats in different states are different than Democrats here in this state. So are the Democrats that you just listed pro-gun rights?
The last, I don't want to call that name because I'm not official on anybody's campaign, but he's in our group. He's in both of our groups, if that helps.
Okay, so basically, not all Democrats are against guns.
No. Can I just say, I want to say something on that, okay? There's only two things any politician cares about, and all their actions are dictated by these two things: getting campaign funds and getting people to check their name in the ballot box. Okay. So, and I'm bringing this up because when this pro-gun, anti-gun, right? Somebody's personal feelings about guns is one thing. Even whether or not they're going to do anything in their position for or against guns is one thing. Getting campaign funding is something else. And right now, when they're going through these primaries, what they're trying to do, the biggest thing in these primaries is getting the backing of the national convention. So you're right. You are 100% right. Most people in Texas are pro guns. Okay. And we all know any anti-gun in legislation in Texas is dead on arrival, right? That's really not a direction other than Beto anybody's even voiced that I've heard of, right?
I think he changed his stance from.
Yeah, because it ain't gonna work in Texas.
I already knew that. I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Stop.
But your friend, he has a great point. In order to get those campaign, there is a Democratic national agenda, okay? And one of those line items on that agenda is gun control. That is 100% facts, okay? That's fact. That's not to be disputed. However, when you get to practicality, okay? Practicality, there is no politician in Texas that's finna run on a position of reducing your gun rights. So, but they got to get that national. If we want anybody that cares about our other interests, okay, they got to get that national funding for campaign funding in order to put on a campaign to even have a chance to beat somebody of the opposite party.
So why are you saying my is right?
Say it again.
Why did you say he was right?
Because whoever wins the primary is they're not getting that money until they agree to the national. This is stuff that happens behind the scenes. They don't get their campaign money until they
don't want to vote Democratic because of Democrats are against guns. That's right.
They believe in gun control. The national party has a stance on gun control. True. That is different from local issues. That is different from county.
He was talking about local issues. Regardless, local or national.
That is not true for local issues. No.
Right. That's what I said. That's what I was telling him. Like, regardless of what they may do nationally, different Democrats locally may not agree with that. So you need to figure out what the local stance is on. Is not all Democrats are not against, or not all Democrats are for gun control.
Nope. We had a black mayor at the Art Tribe Shot Expo. Politicians are agreeing with us.
Yes.
And that's what I want to put out there, because that's a misunderstanding.
It is
within the community when it comes to the local local officials. They're thinking that they're against gun rights, and I'm like, no, there's Democrats who are for gun rights.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. There's a difference between national elections and local elections. Right. And honestly, as a group, we just need to be focused on local elections. Most local elections, we can get a group of our friends together and win some local elections because the difference between wins and losses is hundreds and thousands. It's not tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands a lot of times. Sometimes it is, but not all the time. So, locally, no. If he can find any local politician in Texas that they're staying other than Beto, and like you said, I think he changed his position, that has anything that says they're against guns, I'll buy them a drink. How about that?
So let me ask a question. So with the way the Republicans are handling Texas and the Black community, is it only? Are we only considering gun rights as an issue? So everything else is out the window?
No, we have to have an economic platform. Local politicians directly affects us the most when it comes to our are putting direct money. Now, overall money, the deficit and all that, that's national. But as far as unless you have certain city councilmen voting in your favor, you can't put certain businesses in certain places. You can't rezone this, and you can't they can directly affect your bottom line. And so that's why it's important to have people that have your best interest at heart that will vote in your favor, or yes, let's redevelop this area for black development or something like that. So yeah, that's why even our tribe platform, we don't even focus, we don't even talk about national elections. We directly reach out and directly physically touch local politicians that have our best interest in heart, and we can get a lot further that way.
So even with a lot of Republicans that don't have our best interests in heart, people still
If
vote
that,
for them because they're Republicans.
I would throw party out the window.
Us,
I was just about to say that if it's a
When
black
they get
Republican,
local, throw party out the window. Go talk to them, because let me tell you, in Texas,
I'm not saying not talk to them. I'm referring to when it comes to backing these officials that are harmful to our communities.
Politicians, there are politicians that 6 years ago they ran as a Democrat and now they run as a Republican. Throw the R and the D out the window, because there's other factors that can make them put that R and D in front of their name. Need to understand what they're for and what they're against.
I agree. I think that should go not just for, I definitely agree we need to focus on local levels. And I realize our tribe doesn't focus on nationals, but it may be something to consider too. Not thinking about R and D and just thinking about
here's the problem
with what is more.
Here's the problem with
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
I just think, and I agree with both of you. Reason being, if a R or a D is going to advance our community in a positive direction, that's the person we go for. The problem lies, our demographic is broken up in R&D. That's the problem. Now, it would make sense in the future to strategically put one of us on the Republican side, or have value, or going to pull more people and this, that, and the other. That would, in a perfect world, of course that'd be whoever have our best interest in mind. That R&D as a European or them folks thinking, and that's how they think, and it has to be a division, and it has to be this turmoil and us against them and stuff like that. We care about us, and however we can get to the best without selling out or without doing whatever we collectively agree on. So I agree, it shouldn't be R&D. I don't care about R&D. That we didn't make that up. We conforming to what they came into mind. Or it used to be D back in the day. Now, you know what I'm saying? So they changed the whole party just to accommodate them. They chopped off part of Texas just to keep slaves. So us trying to conform to that party, we got the numbers. We have the numbers. All we got to do is get it. And I don't care if it's R&D, whoever. It's just as long as we invest our people.
Yeah.
And you're right, Ms. Phyllis, too. They do flip flop. Wasn't the Republican Party the Democratic Party before?
Yeah, the Southern strategy changed all that.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they change. And here's I'm gonna tell you one thing. Reason why I'm saying local issues is where, as Rose say, we lose generations, because they go lock people up and give them time beyond their childbearing years, right? Instead of them getting 24 months, they get 25 years. You see what I'm saying? For the same crime. Mm-hmm. So local is where we can impact all those things. The other thing is nationally, man, I hate to tell y'all this, because I try to be a positive person in life. We lost that game before we even got to the ballot box. We lost that game before even any candidate even put their name that they're going to be voting, because in the state of Texas, even though our demographics have grown, they have gerrymandered districts. So we can't impact Congress, the United States Congress, because they took all the black people and put them in one district. And the way you vote for a congressman is by district. So we can get all gun-ho, but we're gonna impact one district, just one. That's it. And our one district is offset by all the other ones. We lost before we even showed up to the game. It's like going to a basketball game, and when you get there, it's already 50 points on the scoreboard.
You don't give up.
Well, listen, I'm be honest. I'm a very practical person. If this tip off and them 50 points still on now, I'm gonna figure out something else to do with that 45 minutes. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That's just me. You know, I don't fight just to get beat up.
Hey, I've seen games come from behind. I've seen games come from behind.
No,
at the last minute.
I'm not that dude. I'm strategic. I like winning. Okay, I'll go do something else. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you another day. I'm gonna get you on another day. But I'm just saying this is chess, not checkers. And so in the national thing, especially, and I don't want to change subject too much, but voting rights across the country and in Texas over the last 16 months have changed. They've made it harder, and they specifically are making sure that the growing demographics that's in Texas do not impact the national election. They're making sure of that. And they got so many levers to pull, but what they don't have enough levers to pull for Tarrant County judge. We can impact that one.
So you're saying vote down ballot only?
I'm saying you need to know who you're voting for.
No, I'm just saying, like, when it comes to local officials, if you're saying you're not for national, are you saying you should just vote down ballot only?
No.
Specifically,
everybody should vote.
We should identify the candidates that has our best interest in heart, go through whatever vetting process we collectively agree upon, have them come speak to us, town hall, whatever we need to do, and then focus on those few. And it may not be everybody, but focus on, and not even saying low hanging fruit or whatever, but if we can statistically win that election and that person got our best interest in heart, or really got everybody's best interest in heart, go all in for those particular candidates. We're not going to win at everything. Those maps are drawn ridiculously in their favor. So like Will says, if we got that one district, let's get that one district and roll.
Yep. Yeah, and here's why I would never say don't vote. Okay. Again, this is chess, not checkers. Okay. If we want our interests, I told you there's only two things that politicians care about: people who actually voted and campaign donations. In the general sense, people that look like us don't impact enough of the campaign dollars. It just is what it is, right? However, we do impact voting. When you don't vote after the election is over with, those campaigns and people that live in this world in the United States, and they do this professionally for a living, they go and they do an analysis of what happened in the last election. Okay, and that what happened in the last election impacts how they go about the next election, and that impacts what goes on the next election in your town and regionally and potentially nationally. Okay, so all right, I'm just going to talk about national for a second. We're 14% of the population, but 80% of Black voters vote for Democrats. Okay, if all of a sudden the number of Black people that voted in the next election, in a national election, if 50% of them went away, okay, the Democratic Party is going to say, oh, wow. They're going to say two things. We had a lack of enthusiasm. We need to get somebody that's going to get them excited so they'll go to the poll. That's the first thing they're going to say. And the second thing they're going to say is, we need to spend more money to do a get out and vote campaign, because obviously we need to get more people to register and get out to vote. That's the two things that's going to happen when you don't go vote. Because that's what they're going to be the assumption, and they have no reason to figure out anything else.
Okay,
but if
so
you
I'm
going to say real quick. Okay. But if you go and vote and you vote for an independent, they're going to say, oh, shit. They took the time to go vote and they didn't give us their vote. I need to go figure out why, because they gave it to somebody else. Then policies start changing. Then platforms start changing because they got to go figure out why we didn't give it to them. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's what you would hope they do.
They will do it because that's people's job to do the analysis of the numbers. See, we're out of opinions now. I really don't think they would do anything for us.
Neither.
I
They're showing
have
us that right now.
I have to borderline. I mean, not borderline. I have to agree with Will. Reason being, when we go canvas people, they don't even waste time with people they know not gonna vote for them. We go and energize. There's an app, and they got these specific people. When you go, I could go to one address, skip by 4, 5 houses, go to that particular address, and all that comes from data from the last election. So they
Yes.
know how to put where to put money. And for instance, Bessie Price is really scared right now. She does it if you turn any corner in Fort Worth right now, you got a Bessie Price sign. Last election when she was going against there were people, she had the same amount of money or more, but she didn't waste it on signs because she already knew the demographics. She already had the calculations. She already knew the area of margin. She knew she was going to win that election before it even started. But if we change, but because we're predictable, if we get out of this predictability and we start changing and we start taking control of our own community, start voting for who's going to do the best for us, then they're going to start getting some act right.
Yes.
When I said that, I wasn't saying not to vote. When I'm saying down ballot vote, that's something like what ADOS would say. American Descent of what they were saying is basically because the national. Because I'm trying to figure out like vote Democratic down ballot, and then they were saying not to vote for anybody candidate nationally.
Terrible idea. Terrible.
And why you say
Absolutely
that?
will be. That is detrimental to us because there's an entire industry. This is the chess part. This is the strategy part. See, we that's like going to a football game and you don't go to the game. All you care about is the kickoff and the final score. There's an entire game being played. There's an entire industry that revolves around electing candidates. Okay. And that industry that goes into electing candidates, they have certain things they do, and their job starts after the last election. After the last election, they look at the actual data, who voted, who didn't vote. They go out and do polls, and they pull all that data together, and they tell people for the next election that's coming up, here's what you got to do to win. And what I'm trying to tell you is if you don't go vote, those people that do the analysis are going to say, ooh, you have an enthusiasm problem. You need to do a get out and vote campaign. They're not going to tell them to go change what they're talking about. They're just going to tell them they got an enthusiasm problem. But if the previous election, they voted Democrat, and the next election, they vote independent, they're going to have a WTF moment because the numbers say Democrats ain't working. Not voting doesn't say it didn't work. Not voting say you didn't go vote. They don't know if you didn't vote because you're mad. They don't know if you didn't vote because your cousin and them was in the hospital. They don't know why you didn't vote. They don't care. But if you go vote, but you don't vote for them, now they're gonna come figure it out. And that's when you're gonna get the different poll questions. That's when they're gonna be changing the candidates. That's when they're gonna change their platform because they know you will vote, but you won't vote for them.
So what will we need to do to change the Republican platform?
The exact same thing. All right. Listen to me. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
Once you vote independent, the Democrats are going to feel like they lost something. Okay. Republicans are going to say, oh, crap. That I only get Republicans nationally only get about 5%, 10%, 7% of somewhere around there of the black vote. They happy when they increase by 1 or 2% every year. They ecstatic. We did great with the black vote. If they see a whole bunch of votes go to the independent box, they say, oh crap, we may be able to get some of them. We may be able to increase our voting population with the black people.
So are you saying not to vote for either party, Republicans, not Democrats? Vote independent.
Exactly. Vote independent.
Completely don't vote for either one of those parties.
Don't vote for either one of them.
I agree on that one.
Yep. Vote independent, and the Republicans will feel like, hey, I got a shot, but I got to say something they want to hear. Democrats are going to say, oh, I done messed up. I need to stop going to their churches and smiling at them and dancing at the barbecue picnic and actually go get some of these policies done that they've been telling us about for the last 100 years.
That's
strategy.
Yeah, I was thinking like you were saying vote for the Republicans. I was thinking now it's like, what's that gonna change? It don't matter if it's Republican. They vote
independent. Independent every time. Vote independent.
Nationally.
Nationally, and if locally you can't find somebody that meets your needs, vote independent for the exact same reasons.
Yes,
you
I
don't
say
no,
I'm
go
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I say handpick your local politician because that's the way you can you have more touch with them. You can go visit them and stuff like that. So no matter what they are, if they have your agenda, I say go for them. That way you're more accessible. Nationally, I kind of agree with Will. We have to do we're stuck in the same cycle, right? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, getting the same promises and still be lied to, and we're still at that 5% racial wealth gap. There has to be something. They got the money. There has to be something that if they want our vote, they have to do something to put our community in a better place than it is right now. Whatever that something is, and that something is going to be community specific.
So do you have any independent candidates that you've looked at that somewhat?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I will have right now we're in the middle of early. We have one more week of early voting in Fort Worth. Last week I got kind of thrown off track, so I didn't get it. We were supposed to have our political initiative, and that's something else that I know after voting's over with, whoever's get elected, we have to put a system in place that we don't wait till election to start trying to get people to elect. We have to do something. Host quarterly town halls, make our agenda known, get those candidates, start grooming those candidates, and getting in a place where we do the same thing. You blink and here's another election. We're trying to scramble to get people to vote. The same thing is going to happen. We got to do a drastic positive change to make sure that this works. I have ideas. We're talking. I've talked to Treese, another sister who's very, very active in the community, and coming up with a couple of initiatives. Right now, we just have to do what we can to get people out. But after this is over with, we have to put a vehicle in place to stop doing what we're doing.
Yep. Well, I heard on the news today that the Democrats been meeting in a closed door. They've been having closed door meetings trying to figure out how to get the black vote.
What to figure out? Hey, rewind what they told us when Daddy Biden ran for office. I mean, listen, we didn't get police reform. We didn't get whatever percentage of Build Back Better they was going to give us, whatever them pennies was going to be off of that. And we didn't so what now?
Reparations.
I about to say rewind what General Sherman promised us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, exactly. I mean, they didn't do what they said they were going to do. We gave them the United States government. We gave them the White House, U.S. House of Representatives, and we gave them the Senate. We got nothing.
And Georgia, right?
Yeah, we got nothing. We didn't get no police reform. And this want to be clear about. The John Lewis Police Accountability Act was written, approved, and ready for a vote before the election. It's been ready. It was written out. It was written out before the election. And they still hadn't gotten it done. And they're not going to get it done. And we need to stop rewarding them for that because police are taking us out. That is an existential threat to our existence in this country. If we don't get police under control, what we saw go out with Kim Potter is going to continue. Police don't need more training. They just need very predictable accountability.
If they're one of the leading causes of death for black males,
I can agree with that.
I mean, you see how serious that is. One of the leading causes of death of black males is the police. That in itself is a problem.
Huge, huge. So what will it take for the Democrats? If they were like, okay, black people, or they were to ask you, what would it take for you to vote Democratic?
They can't. See, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is how I feel. They've lied to us so many times. Okay. This is like having a spouse that's lying to you, that's coming for the 130th time saying, I ain't gonna cheat on you no more. Okay. It's time for accountability. We should vote independent nationally in the next big national election. They lose. They see we voted, but we did not vote for them. And so they can get their gear, they can get in gear into doing what's right. I don't want no more promises. I don't want no more maybes and come to my barbecue and, you know what I'm saying, give me a holiday. Give me another holiday with a midnight vote the week of the holiday. You give me a holiday on Wednesday night for a holiday that's going to happen Saturday. I don't want that. What I want is something that's tangible. But right now, we got a hard-headed child. It's time for some punishment for that child.
But the problem, not saying problem, but the opportunity lies. We're predictable. We're predictable. And they know exactly what to do, how to do this, that, and the other to get what response from us. We have to make the determination ourselves to move, to step in the same direction at the same time. And until we figure that out, we've already proven, we already know if we become that fist, if we become together and say stop, no, and start making our demands will be met. We're fragmented right now, and all they got to do is shoot some money to somebody influential, and there we go. We gone. When Stop Six was a historical community I moved into, a sister that got slid a little money from the police, from whatever. Now it's opened up, and they re-gentrifying the heck out of Stop Six and raising taxes. Now people got to lose their homes and all this other stuff. That matters. All that matters. Old folks, taxes was 600, now it's 1,800. Folks can't afford that if you living on a limited worker. But opening up, and the only people benefiting is people outside that community. That voting stops that. But we have to pick the representatives that's going to be say, hey, no, I'm not going to do that, and hold them accountable for their actions.
Yeah, and I hate to say this. I mean, I'm gonna say it though. All change. Yeah, that's what I said. All, we as a community are very comfortable in America right now, in general. Okay, this is the nicest white people that's ever been in this country. You know, they ain't lynching us every day. They ain't spitting on us and stuff like that. So we done got real comfortable right now, right? But I'm just gonna be honest. If you go back and look at the changes that have happened that were good for us over the past 100 years, all those changes happened after unbelievable amount of loss by us. Okay. You know, everybody want to kumbaya, the 1968 Voting Rights Act. That was great. Yeah, but the Voting Rights Act had not passed multiple times. It had been written for years and had not passed. You know why it got passed? Why it actually became a law? After the assassination of MLK. If you go back through history, every progress that happened for us as a people, it did not happen off the goodness of people who cared about us. It happened once something got to a breaking point and we stood up. So when you say, hey, and I'm not talking about go out and do violence and nothing like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we need to use our vote differently. We need to use our money differently, and they got to feel it. It can't be hey, we're going to compromise or we're going to split a hair. We got to be willing to, hey, you know what? Let Trump win the next election. I know that sounds like blasphemy, but vote for that independent, and the whole Democratic Party strategy will change in 4 years. It will change nationally and it will change locally because they're going to want our 85% of our vote back. Yep, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow for them 4 years. But nothing we have got no positive benefits without us having some sacrifice. That's easy sacrifice. We survived 4 years of Trump. It wasn't that bad. We can do it again. No, we can do it again. No, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
You don't think it's gonna get worse?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's gonna be worse. It's gonna be worse.
Brothers were
Yeah.
getting killed. It
I,
was
I, I mean, what white supremacy or white attacks to the U.S. did kind of increase 200%, but I mean that's
that
just not
wasn't
that.
that bad.
Yeah, it's gonna get worse. I'm not, but we have lived in our people have lived in an America far worse than it is today and
So this
survived.
is my question: how do you go from Biden to thinking Trump's better?
I didn't say Trump was better
I mean, how would you? Why would you go from Biden to saying vote Trump?
because we need to be strategic and not tactical.
Is that strategic?
Absolutely, because voting for another Biden just gonna get you another set of excuses that we've been getting for the last 5 Democratic presidents.
Hold on, I'm so sorry, Will. Don't get mad at me.
No,
You didn't say vote Trump. You said
vote
Trump.
independent.
Right. You said vote independent, but you said it would take him getting elected to get us, back
Yeah,
scared of the orange man and stuff like that. So I don't think he said vote
yeah.
Trump.
I'm not saying vote Trump. I say vote
That's
independent.
how I need to clarify. Yeah.
Vote independent. Okay. But when you take our 85% black vote away from the Democrats, they lose all day, every day. Them losing will force them to do what they've been promising to do the whole time. It's like having a child, okay?
But they lost, and they still ain't. They ain't done. They lost. That's why Trump got in office, because they lost.
Okay. But the analysis after the loss said there was a lack of enthusiasm. The analysis said, hey, it wasn't, everybody was happy. All the black people were so excited when they got to vote for a black president with Barack Obama. And the black vote decreased the next election for Biden, and they said it was a lack of enthusiasm. They didn't say we were mad with the Democratic Party because none of the data supported we were mad with the Democratic Party. We got to give them numbers. They must be go vote independent. They say, oh, they want to vote, but they don't want to vote for us. That will generate different reactions.
Our numbers did shoot up when the orange man was in office.
What number shot up?
Oh, the second time. Oh, yeah, the second time. Absolutely. Yeah. So when he ran for his re-election, guess what we did? Our enthusiasm went up. And that's where they came out promising us, Biden was promising us the world, right? That we got none of.
And well, I don't think we're going to get anything from either one of them.
But that's tactical. That's tactical. See, I'm not worried about the next election. I'm worried about the next generation. If you're only worried about the next election, that's why the Democrats go behind them closed doors, and they figure. And this the conversation they have behind those closed doors. What can we go tell them Negroes that's gonna make them come vote for us, but we ain't got to really do it? Because here's the balance. Let's be honest. The balance is, how do we tell the black people that so we get 85% of their vote without losing the white vote?
Then the white people on the other side are saying we're gonna call black people racist and all this other stuff. We're gonna prove to you why.
Let me tell you right now,
why these racist white people need to vote for us, because we're not going to help the black community. We're not.
Yeah, they're not gonna help us. But here's one of the biggest issues. I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest issues that's on the ballot nationally: critical race theory. I'm gonna tell you why that one's so important. A vast majority of white Democratic voters, they agree with what's happening with CRT.
And that's what a variety of Republican white voters do.
Yeah, exactly. So the Democratic Party is trying to figure out, how do we tell black people we're going to do something about it and tell white people it's going to go the way they want to do it at the same time? They're going to lie. I'm telling you, we got to stop playing this game, just like Rose said. Get off the bus. Get off the boat. Get off the bus. Go vote independent. Go vote independent. Once they realize, see, that's just like a child. Okay? You fuss at your child, clean up your room, right? Days go by, they still ain't clean up the room. You know what you finally gotta do? You gotta give some corporal punishment. And then all of a sudden, the room get clean. The Democratic Party needs a corporal punishment.
I forgot. I'm going to bring this up. I know I'm going to switch this subject real quick, but when you brought up Barack Obama, I just had to, I had to put this up here. So going back, we're going to go back real quick, okay? To our first discussion, we were talking about the judge, right? Chu, Judge Chu. Judge Chu appeared teared up as she quoted the former President Barack Obama, saying, "Empathy is quality of character that could change the world."
Yeah. She brought up a black man so we can let the white woman get off for killing a black. I mean, come on now. Stop it.
That in itself is impartial. That's why this system wasn't made for us. I don't know how long she's been a judge, but I guarantee you'll never see another example of that giving us that much sympathy. Point blank, period.
Nope. Nowhere. You was convicted. You broke the law. You took a person's life. Law and order. What happened to that? Law and order. Right? Oh no. Now we law and sympathy.
I don't even think they know what law and order is. They haven't figured it out yet.
Put your foot on a black person's neck. That's what it is.
I mean, it's a system been working. I mean, slavery used to be a law.
Yeah.
Trying to bring it back, really, or something.
Hey Phyllis, you need to send Phyllis a link so she can get on here because she going off on the chat.
Oh, I can't even see the chat.
Yeah, go and jump on here, Phyllis. Come on.
I put it in the.
Yeah, I know we're going over an hour, but hey, I enjoy talking about this stuff.
It's hey y'all, it's Friday. I ain't got no job. I ain't got nothing to do. So
I'm gonna send it to her. Hold on, let me see how we do this.
Some of y'all will get that joke.
Yeah. No, I got it. and listen, I know what I'm saying is radical. It sounds different how I'm telling us to use our vote, right? I'm not making this up off how I feel. This is I'm not no political pundit or no strategist or none, but I read a lot. And when I see how people actually win elections, that's what informs me that this will work. But I'm gonna tell you another thing that informs me it work. You got to do something different. If you keep on doing the same thing, you cannot expect a different result. Even if you do something different, that's an opportunity for something different to happen. You don't get that opportunity doing the same thing.
I just don't want to get caught up voting. I just want to find a better candidate. I don't like.
That's not gonna happen.
It don't matter if it's independent. You could be independent and still be trash. At least have.
To give black people a better candidate. The system's not designed to give us a better national candidate. We're only 13% of the population.
Hey, Camille, I 100% agree with you because it would be. I agree with you. It would be easier to get a better candidate because most of us are Democrat. It'd be an easier win. However, this same system has been in place for God knows how long. And we've been trying to do the better candidate, and then they get in there and they get that one black person in there, and they get it. It has not worked. It hasn't worked. So in our lifetime, we should do something drastically different, positive to shake it up. So and trust me, I'm a lot older than both of y'all. I've been Democrat, and every time I vote straight ticket and stuff like that, and that has not worked for us. It hasn't. And so I believe individually select, speak to these people. So that's kind of my platform, and unfortunately, that's still probably going to fall 100% on the Democratic platform. But at least now we're holding them accountable as a grassroots organization, as the actual people that's paying taxes is going to work every day. We collectively hold them accountable, and I think that's the way versus just saying, okay, we're just going to naturally just do it. I think something has to happen. But nationally, I agree with Will. Locally, I agree with you. We should still Democrat because that's mostly what we all think.
Now look at Georgia. Let me give you one example. Them people been scared of Stacey Abrams for over 6 years now. She won her first election. They stole that election from Stacey Abrams, and then they went and changed the laws.
Make sure you turn us down in the back. If you have us on a phone, or radio, or playing on something else, turn that down.
Reverb. They have
Hey, Miss Willis. Go ahead.
I was gonna say,
can y'all hear me?
We
can y'all hear me?
Yes.
In Georgia, they went through 2 governor election cycles, and they've changed the law to make sure Stacey Abrams do not win. She won the first one. But you know why she actually lost? The guy she was running with was over the election campaign. They sued to have him removed from his position while he was running for governor. They lost the suit. The dude was over the recount. The guy, and he basically declared himself the winner. Trump didn't just call that man up for no reason and say, hey, go find me 11,000 votes. Okay. He knew who he was talking to. But they not rolling the dice with that this time. They have went and changed the map, the map for voting. They've shut down voting booths. They told them people you can't put no water, you can't get nobody no water while they standing in line. You can't do nothing. If you do anything, we're gonna get your vote out there. You gotta have ID cards. They are scared of Stacey Abrams. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is y'all are saying, hey, we gotta put the right candidate up. This system is not designed to allow that to happen. And if it does, they will go change the system, just like they're doing in Georgia. They're gonna change. They are changing the law.
They're doing it here too. They're not just doing it in Georgia. They're doing it here in Texas.
Perfect. Right. So what I'm trying to tell you is, it's great to say, hey, we're going to go get the best candidate, and we absolutely need to try to do that. But punishing these two, strategically playing the game between Democrats and Republicans, we got to use our vote as currency. Okay? And we got to let them know that's a loan you got to pay back. And right now, we just, I ain't going to go vote. They don't care about you not voting. They happy you don't vote. They want you not to vote.
I do believe a lot of people vote, though, especially a lot of Black folks. We come out and vote. We do come out and vote. I know. What area?
Tarrant County. Over the last election or last mayor, or I don't know if it's the last one. Anyway, Deborah Peoples was like 5,000 votes away. 39,000 people did not vote in Tarrant County, and we're a minority-run county. So 39,000. All we needed was 5. So I see what you're saying. Your circle, the people you deal with, and the people that's pro, your circle may vote, but the overall majority, people don't. Everybody has the same excuse. It don't matter. We stuck on that, and we've been stuck on that for the last 25 years or however long. It don't matter. If my vote don't matter. I ain't gonna say.
I say there are those who say it don't matter, but it's not all of us who. But there is a lot of Black folks who have come out and voted. In the Dallas County area, I seen them lined up in Mesquite. I seen them lined up other areas. I mean, maybe not at certain polls, depending on the area, but I will say Black people do come out and vote. Is it the majority? Maybe not, but we do.
But if you're in a minority majority run area and we lose every election, that means we still need more Black folks to come out and vote. And that's definitely not disagreeing with you. We are doing a lot better, because I work as best as I can the last few campaigns. But there's a lot. If you in a Black city and you got all white folks running a Black city, that's a problem.
I agree. Do you think they do you think they're just now trying to? Do you think all the votes were counted accurately previously?
I think that's almost impossible. But do I think it's enough to knock us out the box? Not really. We turned 2 seats this time. There was a white man that's been in my city councilman since I've been here the last 20-something years. Now I have a brother that's my city councilman. So there's another brother that's that turned it. So we turned 2 seats. So to your point, it is getting better because we turned 2 seats and we ain't never done that before in history. But we just need to do a little bit more.
I agree with that. But yeah. You know, put yourself on mute. Is that gonna keep you from talking?
No. I mean, I get passionate about this stuff because I spend a lot of time looking at it, trying to figure out what actually needs to happen. I don't like talking about feelings. Feelings don't change nothing, right? And there, when you break down logically what needs to happen in elections, there is a path forward. But they count on us not. They put everything right in plain sight for us, and they count on us not paying it no attention. Okay.
I like to listen to. I listen to different Black people's perspective on how we can turn this tide. I don't just, I like to hear different perspective on things, and a lot of times I see is my way or the highway, and I think that is an issue too when it comes to us being decisive on a choice. It's more we're not listening to reasoning. We're just saying just do it this way.
I have a question, and I know this is not my show, but I want to interview the interviewers really quick. Just your elevator speech, Sweetie C. What is a solution? Just really quick. What's the solution
To what?
to just to the problem that we're talking about, right? Just voting. Let's start there. What would be your solution? We know the problems, but what could we actively do to make that better?
To get more people to vote, or just to
I'm just let's say I'll give an example. If you ask me that question, I think way we could make this better is walk our neighborhood. Is have everyone has a specific neighborhood. It's enough of us spread out all over the place that we could comfortably walk our neighborhood and pass out pamphlets and just make those candidates more personally known to our neighborhood. So that's going to be my solution. That's what I'm supposed to be rolling out here soon. So that's kind of like my solution. That's an active. That's action to solve a problem. What could we collectively do or individually do to solve the problems that we're talking about right now? I'm so sorry if I'm taking over. I'm just curious. I just like action.
No, you can do it. It's just there's no taking over anything. You want to go, Will, or you?
Oh, I mean, I don't run out of stuff to say, but I'm trying not to get fired from my job. I'll start. So,
Okay.
all right. So I'm gonna give you the national answer and the local answer. I'll start with the local answer. So local answer is candidates are not out of your reach. Candidates, they need two things. They need campaign donations, and they need you to actually show up and vote. When I lived in, I'm originally from Alabama. When I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, I attended meetings where there were no more than 10 people at a house, and the candidate running for mayor showed up. You know why he showed up? Because we said, hey, we want to hear what you're going to do for the city, and we're taking up donations for your campaign based on what you say. Did he show up? Absolutely, he showed up. You know why? Because we fulfill one of the things that he needs in order to win, which is get campaign donations. So locally, we need to take ownership for it. It's not acceptable for us to say we don't know about that candidate. Technology is real simple. You can get a phone. You can look up their thing. You can say, hey, I got 10 people on my street, or I got 10 people at my church, or whatever organization I'm with. We want to hear what you're talking about, and this is going to be we're going to take up donations for your campaign based on what you tell us. They will show up. You get to ask them questions, and you can talk about them. We have control. That's what you do. That's what you do locally. And absolutely, if you have people that you know of that we can put better candidates in place, do it. But don't take the fact that I don't know the candidate as an excuse. You can get a couple people together and say, hey, we want to hear about what you got to say, and we're going to take up campaign donations. That's one of two things they care about. They'll show up. And they'll show up for every dollar. It don't matter how much. You just tell them to show up. Nationally is what I've been saying. They're not going to listen to us. We got to show them better than we can tell them. 85% of the black vote go to the Democratic Party in the next election. If that goes down to 50%, the Democratic Party will change in 4 years. If they lose that many of the black votes, they will change, because they cannot remain in power, not nationally or locally, with that one number. And I feel very confident about that, because I understand, because I've been doing the research on this. There's only two things they care about: campaign funding and who actually voted. That's it. All right, I'm done.
All right, hey, Miss Phyllis, how you doing?
I'm doing good, y'all. I'm having a little allergy attack, but today's verdict really, really upset me. Can y'all understand me? Because there's still a lot of echo.
Yeah. Do you have anything playing in the background?
Uh-uh. Yeah, it's like it did the same thing to us yesterday. It's acting really weird. But I just want to say briefly, we have to stop going along to get along and following the crowd. We got to be willing to sacrifice everything and vote independent and not just follow the crowd because we get nothing. We don't make any demands that ever equate to anything of value for us. We give away our vote just on them giggling and smiling and shuffling and shit. I'm sick of that. And I'm like, Will, I have a 14-year-old. I'm worried about what the world gonna be like when I'm gone and my child is still here. You know? And everyone wants to just get it over with. Either you in the fight or you ain't. And what happened today? That judge needs to be removed. She was totally biased. She didn't even have the decency to eulogize the young man that got killed. She was sitting up praising the woman that murdered him. I don't give a damn if she was a UN official. She committed a major crime. Since when do we praise the person that committed the crime, whether it was an accident or not? At least, and then they have the audacity to do it on a worldwide stage in our face, and then had the nerve to cry. We have to do something. We don't have the courage that our ancestors had. I'm gonna say that. They took it up a notch, and then we just got stuck right there in the middle. We don't want to fight. We don't want to sacrifice. We scared of going to jail because we might not can make bond. They can't keep all of us. They can't arrest all of us. And when we know we in for the fight, that's why we have organizations and groups and like our tribe, so we can have bail money and attorneys to get us out of there, so we don't spend 10 minutes in there like they do. There has to be an effective change instead of just talking about it, because I understand why people have given up on voting, because they feel like there's no point. They feel like there's no point. Go vote for what? We ain't gonna get nothing. Go vote for what? They still gonna do whatever they want to do. A lot of people felt like things were better for them financially when Trump was in office. Yeah, he was crass, he was rude, but he didn't give a damn. But in their eyes, he kept everybody's pockets full. You know, we have to do the unthinkable. They had the nerve to storm a government office, and expected to get on a plane and go back home and laugh and giggle about it. They took a shit on the floor in there. Had they heard we were even coming, they'd have had the whole National Guard out there. We wouldn't have made it to the plaza.
Made to the plane.
Something has to change. That's all I gotta say.
All right.
I'm just my nerves. I can't. This is one of those things that if we keep going along to get along, we're gonna keep getting what we're getting. We're gonna keep getting what we're getting if we don't do something different. Make them come to us. Make them kiss our ass literally. Give us what we want up front. We ain't waiting for it later. We want this documents and this paperwork signed. Get the paperwork in order, then you'll get your votes. But now we're gonna give over the votes and then be sitting back. I ain't seen Kamala Harris big head ass since she got voted in. Where is she?
Oh, she's out the country. She's helping. She's working with
I can't breathe.
I ain't seen her. Y'all seen her? Because I ain't seen her.
She ain't did nothing. She ain't fixed the borders. She ain't fixed
Oh,
nothing.
she wrote some reparations for the Asians, though, right quick.
She a former
prosecutor. I ain't seen nobody that I'm glad they got killed or anything, but a couple of Asians died and get drugged down the New York sidewalk. They write reparations for them. We've been getting drugged and killed for years. But the mere fact that she married to a white man lets you know who she for.
She's a former prosecutor. She was taking people that look like us away for long periods of time.
Exactly.
And I would like to say, if you are taken away, call the Kane Law Firm at 972-290-00. Oh, my eyes are getting bad. 68.
Good job. Say it again, Ro.
972-290-0068. That's the Kane Law Firm.
Amen. We all need to put that on speed dial on our phone.
You can download the R Tribe app. It's right there.
Our tribe.
Yeah, it's. I'm over it. I'm over it. We have to stop going along to get along. You know, this is the worst relationship ever between the black people and the government on every level, state, local, state, federal. They've been mistreating us for the longest. And they know we ain't going nowhere. They can tell us we're going to the moon and they'll be back tomorrow. We'll be like, okay.
So Ro asked the question, what do you think your solution is? And I have mine, but I'll let Miss Willis answer.
For me,
Yeah.
I think we need to be drastic in our efforts and not vote for the status quo. Don't go along just to get along. I'm not voting for Beto just because he changed his mind to get my vote. It's not sincere. He doesn't mean it. As soon as he get in office, he gonna start talking about taking away my gun. Because that's what's really in his heart. He doing what everybody else telling him to do to get our vote. They flip-flop, they do whatever, they say whatever to get your vote, then they go right back to what they was doing before. And I'm not voting for it. And they don't even ever stop doing what they were doing. They just mask it. They have no sincere intention of doing anything to help us, because if they did, we wouldn't have to ask for it. They would bring it to us. They have no sincere intention of doing anything to help us, because if they did, we wouldn't have to ask for it. They would bring it to us.
You sure you don't have nothing else on?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Are you using headphones? You using headphones?
I'm on. It did the same thing last night when we were streaming, and we kept getting this. I think it's a StreamYard issue. It did the same thing last night when we were streaming, and we kept getting this. I think it's a StreamYard issue. It did the same thing last night.
So, thank you, Miss Phyllis. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's
I think it's a StreamYard issue. It keeps repeating me too, like 4 times.
Yes, it's good.
I'm gonna go on and hang up then.
Thank you, Miss Phyllis. We appreciate
Bye,
you.
y'all. Love y'all.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
It was like infinity, like one of them infinity mirrors. It just kept on like echo down a lot.
I was trying to wait till the ending, but it just didn't. So I was like, so Ro, to your question, what my solution would be, I think we need to host more town halls. A few years ago, I was a lady, and actually she was a Republican. I just say that it doesn't matter, but people think I'm just so Democrat. But anyway, it was a Republican. She put this town hall together. She did a really excellent job. She got forward police, different police stations around, and she hosted a town hall, and we got an opportunity to say what we needed to say, or to provide our feedback. I would like to see some of our candidates, those who support our tribe, to host maybe some town halls so people within the community can attend and kind of get an idea of who they are and kind of ask some questions. And I think a lot of that will make people feel more comfortable. And then that's how I think we should do. We should host more town halls.
Actually, since you said that, we have a plan in place. I just think we're just way. I'm not gonna lie, elections kind of snuck up on me, right? I had a long, really nice conversation with Pamela Young. She's with United Fort Worth. They have really got it going on and really made a lot of advances with as far as helping minorities get, the right minorities get in place. And when I say the right minorities, we have it. It's kind of hard because if you see a black person on the ballot, you think you automatically supposed to vote for that person.
Right.
Well, especially in Terry County, there's a certain dynamic that you have certain us running against us. So who do you vote for? And so that's why we were taking the time to actually vet each candidate and make sure that, of course, and even in it's going to be some areas we might have to vote for one of our Hispanic, brothers and sisters. So, but no matter what, as long as they have our overall agenda at heart and moving our agenda forward, every candidate's not like that. And so we've been taking the time to go and talk to people who've been in the game for a minute and get their opinion and try to collectively come up with a list of who we should be supporting. And I'm supposed to be reaching out to them. So I'm a few days behind on that, but I'll have a list out by the first of the week, because we still have a little time for early voting. Definitely early vote, because you can get in and get out in less than 5 minutes. But I'll have a more definitive list. But am I answering your question?
You answered I really didn't have a question. That was just my solution was to have more townhomes where the community can have an opportunity to ask questions for these candidates and kind of get a feel from them, get a feel of who they are. And I think that might bring awareness, so people won't feel like they're just, oh, we're just voting because they're Black. We actually know why we're voting.
Yeah, we have an advantage. We're not like a church or anything, right? We're just individual citizens. Church have to, if you have a town hall or something like that, you have to vote. You have to invite both sides. We can selectively pick who we would like and then bring them to the table. And I definitely agree with a town hall, because everybody can start ask questions and go ahead and let's get this out the way and get your question out the way, feel comfortable with that person. And then once that is over with, let's stop asking questions, just go all in and get that person in.
Right. And you're right. In our the tribe way, not the other way.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's my solution, I feel.
Yes.
As long as we become more active, to me, it's become more active. We got to take responsibility for us, and the us is individually, and it's the collective us, right? And so whether it's that our community, and understanding where we're actually losing the game. We're losing the game with these judges. These judges, listen, everything go through judges. All disputes. You got a problem with a mayor, it's a lawsuit. You're dealing with a judge. You got a problem with a judge, with a police officer, it turns into something dealing with a judge. A judge is a critical linchpin that we have been sort of, I'm sure some people knew about it. I'm recently coming into this, right? That is the most important position. All of our civil and our criminal things are going through a judge. We need to know who they are, and we need to make sure we feel good about them being a judge in our community. Even more than the mayor or the police chief or any of these other positions. Because if you got an issue with any of those other positions, it got to come through a judge.
So Kirby said there are town halls, but we don't show. I will have to say that town hall I attended, we did show up. I feel like if the community is aware of when it is, and we make, really kind of bring awareness to that there is a town hall, especially if it's a candidate that we're supporting, I do believe we will show up.
Y'all, I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record. It all falls back to unity. We need to find a way to get all of us on the same platform, because that way the town halls will be booked up, the candidates will get more votes, everything that we're talking about falls back to getting all of us doing the same thing at the same time.
Yeah. Hey,
sorry.
Hey, no, I agree with you, bro. Hey, Camille, Miss Sweetie C. I know we've been going an hour and 30 minutes, and I love all this. Can we throw Mr. Kirby on the line? He's been chatting away, and I feel like he
has the link.
I feel like he got something to say. Kirby, jump on him, man. Jump on him. We want to hear you.
Let me send it to him directly.
You know what? I had this maximized. I did not see all this chat. I got to catch up.
You said you couldn't see it, so you found
I had it maximized. I just,
okay.
I was like looking at y'all. That's all. No homo. Well, I was like looking at y'all.
Oh yeah. What just happened? Yeah, listen. And listen, everybody's journey is different. While we're waiting on Kirby, um, I it you know I it's a line in a movie. One of the most complicated relationships for a Black person in this country is how I feel about my country and how my country feels about me. But and I understand how complex that is. But if we start taking on, this is our country, and fully invest in all of our rights as if they are ours. It's not given to us, they are ours. These elected officials are ours. If it's not going the way we want it to go, we should feel like we got the authority to do something about it. We don't have to be extremely radical, but me and Ro had this conversation all the time. It just astonished me. It took 47 days. A whole bunch of Americans who feel good about America from the time Trump lost, it only took them 47 days to storm the United States Capitol. Now, I'm not advocating doing nothing like that, but it took 47 days for them to say, this ain't right, and I'm an American, and I'm going to do something about it. We've been catching hell for 400 years. It's time for us to do way more than we've been doing. All right, sorry, Ro, I'll cut you off.
No, I really want to piggyback off what you're saying. Do y'all realize we've been here since 1619? Do y'all realize we're the first generation to be able to fully take advantage of being an American? There have been laws in place that we couldn't vote. Our parents couldn't do some of the shit. Can we curse? Our parents, okay. Our parents couldn't do some of the shit that we're doing right now. And so, since it took us since 1619 to get to this point, why not ball out of control and take advantage of that? I don't know what happens after I close my eyes for the last time, but I'm pretty sure some of my ancestors saying, "Hell yeah, do that shit, do it, do it." Do you know?
Right?
I mean, I've had my grandfather had to run and hide because he didn't want to sell his cows and stuff like that. We've gone through some horrific ass shit to get to this point. Why not take advantage legally and stick our chest out and say that we came together and we was able to do this? Why not do that, considering what we had to go through to get to this point?
Yep, true. My grandfather and his brother, my great uncle, the reason why I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, because they had to leave the country in Bowlesy, Alabama, because they got into it with some white people. They had to pack up in the middle of the night and go to Birmingham to get away from the white people.
Yeah. We're the first. So since we're the first true Americans, let's do this. Let's own it. Mr. Kirby, man, that brother motivates me for some reason. I don't know why.
Hey, Kirby, welcome. You gotta unmute yourself. He done came in and engineered himself. I can't even unmute him. So I don't know if it's. You need to unmute your mic.
Come on, Kirby. Hey, you may have to turn the computer. Computer, make sure your computer mic is turned on.
Yeah, but they probably got to go through the settings and select the right mic.
Your settings. Yeah, the settings for your computer if you're on your computer.
Yeah, you got this, Kirby.
You can do it.
So you're right. We are the first. What say the American generation?
I am the first generation of my family that when I took my first breath, I had 100% of all my rights. Everybody prior to me, they did not have all their rights as an American.
Exactly.
Wow.
So I'm trying to get this app to work.
You good now? We hear you, baby. We hear you, baby.
All right. So all I'm saying is, like, with town halls are good, but most of us don't show up to town halls. The only time the people show up to town halls are basically like if the church do it because they're already going to be at church. You know what I'm saying? You got people, or it's hard enough to get people to come to functions now, and you think they're going to come there to ask questions? I don't think they're going to do it. But a town hall is a good start. The thing is basically, once you get to town hall and you basically learn something, then you need to spread that. So a town hall is a good source to get the information, You know what I'm saying? Then, like, just like my parents, when I asked the question, will they have proposals or propositions? I'm going to basically research it. Then I'm going to basically talk to my mom and my dad about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid to talk politics to my parents or to my family members. I keep that with them. I let them know this is what I'm thinking. Hey, what are you thinking? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to hide, you know what I'm saying, if I like this person or I like the first person. I want to talk to you about it so you can say, oh, no, he does this, he does that. Because it might be something that I'm blinded to that I don't even realize what's going on. So I think we should basically have like an open conversation with other people about politics so that way you learn something new about the person that you thought you knew.
Hey, Kirby, can I ask a question? So you say we don't go. So we're the first generation that every last one of us can touch hundreds of people through social media, right? Do you think there's a way that we can individually use social media to get people at the designated place at designated time or get the right information to them? Do you think we're capable of doing that, or you just think we don't care enough? What are your thoughts? Did we lose you, Kirby?
I think he's thinking.
Oh, you're thinking. Like, can we use this?
Can
You unmute your mic.
My mic is unmuted. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
So it's two things going on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. What was the question? Or
can we use technology to overcome the we're not at the designated place at the designated time with these town halls?
It just depends on who you're trying to reach. With the you talking about like with using technology or like
social media?
Yeah. So it depends. Like the social media is a good start, but everybody's not on social media. Like just like my parents, they still have flip phones. You know what I'm saying? The generation that basically that normally votes, they're not voting no more because they're not able to. They don't have no one to take them to the polls. They don't trust people with Ubers to come.
I see two solutions to that. Number one, if your parents don't have it, you have it. So you could, I mean, my mom always asked me who to vote for before we vote. And so number two, actually going to the house. When I was campaigning for certain candidates, they didn't even know that candidate existed. I don't, and I don't know what the answer is because I don't know why they didn't know. I just say, whoa, you didn't know who this person was? So it's going to take several ways, but I agree with Kirby. There's a lot of people that's not in the same circle that don't even have an opportunity to see the information that we're trying to get out.
Yeah, we're gonna have to solve for that problem.
I was my first town hall meeting. I was pleasantly surprised at how many of us showed up. And I did speak. And at that town, they're like, thank you for saying what you had to say, because it was a town hall regarding police brutality. They had issues with when CPS comes out to the house and they say, let's say they may say roaches, they would take kids away thinking there's an issue. It's really not an issue. It's just they had too many roaches or something like that. They're just addressing issues with the CPS and the police brutality. And a lot of us showed up. So I feel like if they are aware, if we are aware of it, then we will show up.
Yeah, so that's that's part of the problem. And they know this. They know if we get excited, we're going to spend a certain amount of energy for a very limited time.
You want to get them?
And so, if that's police brutality, that's going to get a lot of energy. But like I mentioned earlier, there's not going to ever be a whole lot of excitement around electing a judge. but that is one of the most influential positions that's out there. So how do we get some excitement, or how do we get motivation around the most important thing, the judge?
You know, I honestly think, and I mean, it's been proven, if we get behind a fad, we're wonderful. I mean, when Here Figure came out, polo, I've seen people say they'd rather sell out their community than stop wearing polo. I've actually seen posts like that.
Absolutely.
So there is a way.
Mhm.
There is a way if we can replicate what makes polo or what makes, we're responsible for our culture. We are. The sagging pants or whatever the case may be, that's our responsibility to stop that. So to answer your question, it's on us. We could do phantomly, if that's the word, amazing things if we just find that combination to come together and think the same way. If people knew, I don't have a judge's example, but I have a district attorney example. We're getting ready for the biggest case that's probably hit Tarrant County in our lifetime. When that sister lost her life when the police officer went in
Tatiana
her backyard.
Jefferson.
Thank you. I didn't want to. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I didn't want to. I was trying to avoid saying her name because I didn't want to mess it up. But and so the district attorney has the power to do it right or lean in that cop's favor. And so if we have Albert Roberts, I'm not finna say that he's finna give a hookup or anything like that, but it'd be a lot more fairer. It'd be a lot fairer trial with him versus somebody that already got the police to their best heart. And so little things like that that we can get behind and take. One more example. Sharon Wilson's been there forever. I used to be a correction officer, and I used to see the paperwork of her taking legacies out of our community. Legacies. The same when Bill Clinton bill came through, the street three strikes you out. It's people in jail right now for a dime sack of weed that should have been out a long time ago. So when you take all that money out of our community, when you take all that residual income, all the kids that that person could have fathered, and all that stuff out of community, all that impact matters. And that's one district attorney that took all of that power and all of that money out of our community. Just one person. So why would we want a person that looks like us in that position?
And just add on what Rose said, it's a difference between getting 24 months and 12 years. That one position that he's talking about, that's the difference for the same crime.
All that money gone, all them kids he could have buried gone and sent them to school, and that money they could have brought to the community and all that. We don't think like that. We don't think that one person could have fathered and took care of a whole bunch of kids, that could have fathered and took care of a whole bunch of kids, that could have fathered and took care of a whole bunch of kids. You can't father kids in jail. And that one person made those decisions.
Ooh-wee. So we got a lot of work ahead of us.
Yeah, and we got to do more than just get angry, right? We got to get strategic. We got to get intentful. We got to get purposeful. We need to be dedicated, right? It's not angry is great, right? Emotional is great, but I 100% agree. Anger gets shit done. That's from one of my movies, one of my TV shows, American Gods, Mr. Nancy. I love that character. Anger does get shit done, but I'm telling you, anger wears it burns out fast. We need to be very intentful about what we're doing as a community. And that's why I love being a part of our tribe, because there is a plan. All we got to do is bring our little portion. You ain't gotta run the whole thing. Just bring your little portion, that your skill set, your energy, and we're gonna move this whole community forward. We just have to do it
Together.
So I'm going to throw out, since we all here.
Oh, hell.
Oh, you got caught, Kirby. You ain't get off fast enough.
Yeah, like, if you know what I know.
I think I'm losing my signal.
Now this is this is another situation. Did y'all hear about the retired Florida cop who was charged in a movie theater murder that said he felt threatened?
Oh no.
No.
Girl, you scared me up, man. I know what you was about to say. Let me Google that real quick.
the retired Florida cop charged in a movie theater murder said he felt threatened. So he was in a movie theater, and from my understanding, he had initiated. He threw popcorn on somebody else, and when that individual went towards him, he pulled out his weapon, the retired cop, and shot between his fiance and then murdered the guy.
That's
And
exactly what happened.
he said it was the guy threw popcorn in his face. Y'all didn't
That
hear
almost
that?
reminds me. Yeah, that reminds me. There are certain instances where cops would do something to put themselves in a position where they can
Right.
say, "Oh, it was self-defense." They'll push or whatever the case may provoke the incident, and then claim victim. And that sounds like what you're saying.
And that's exactly what's going on right now. So how how would you deal with it?
What deal with it? Where in that point in time, and I got popcorn. The popcorn situation, or you talking about later? Because
Yeah, someone threw popcorn at you.
listen, I listen as a person who believe in my Second Amendment rights and my right to defend myself and my right to be prepared to defend myself and conceal carry. I walk this planet a very humble person every day. I'm not starting nothing with nobody. Somebody throw popcorn on me, you know. In most cases, you know, it'd be a dirty look, and I may make a statement, but I'm moving on because I know I have the ability to impact deadly force. However, if you decide you think you're finna make a move to put your hands on me, that's something different. But for me personally, popcorn, you know, that's something you walk away from. If you know, I'm not throwing popcorn on nobody. I got a hard time believing a 70-year-old man getting a drop on me. I'm hard to imagine that one, but you know, I don't know. What y'all think?
Answer that question.
I'm a little bit different. I believe in eye for eye. You throw popcorn on me, I'm throwing my coat back at you.
I was about to agree with Kirby because if you intentionally throw popcorn on me, I'm going to throw popcorn back on you. Reason being is because if I use popcorn as a weapon, I can call firearm legal protection and they can come get me out of jail and protect me because not only do they cover firearms, they cover all weapons. So if I use popcorn as a weapon, I would definitely call firearm legal protection, use code RTRIBE at checkout. But anyway, no, if somebody hit me with popcorn, I probably would. I would equal the amount of threat plus one. Y'all heard me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, that was it.
I'm just saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing my coat.
See, y'all got more than I got. I'm 0 to 100. I'm either not doing something or I'm doing the most.
I think these are situations that's tough because it's like a petty disagreement could either go far left or it can go right. Because I was just at McDonald's the other day. McDonald's has 2 lanes in drive-through, and I was doing something on my phone, and this guy was yelling at me. So I rolled down my window. I was like, "Why are you yelling at me?" He's like, "Yo, it's my turn to go. It's my turn to go." I said, "Okay, go." Like, what's the argument? He's like, "Well, you shouldn't." I said, "What? Go, just go. It's no issue." And he was like, "Now it's my turn to go." Whoop de whoop. So then, what I did is, when he started to go, I just kind of pulled up forward, like I was about to go, but I put on my brake, and then he started yelling at me. And then when I pulled up to my window, he paid for my soda. So he did all that. It was like, so as I said, some things I don't know if he was serious or he was just testing me or what. So how would you feel if someone's yelling at you in a lane? You think you would?
Yeah. For me, again, I'm 0 to 100. So they yelling at me, and I've been in this situation. I done already put my pistol in my hand, and so my problem. So for me personally, I'm deciding is this worth me putting bullets through my car door and bullets into him. I'm just being honest with you. So I'm going to apologize, say going on about your business, because I'm 0 to 100, right? So I'm either, hey, I'm letting him go, but that's his only warning right there. He can't escalate. Escalation gonna be met with something, on 100. I don't have that nice little 50%, 30% type measure. But that's just me. That's just me. I go to therapy and I dealt with my anger issues. I know how to just say, "Go on, sir."
I just feel people do be trying to test people, and in that situation, it turned out to being somebody getting killed with that cop in the movie theater, which all that could have been avoided. So it makes me wonder, people just be angry. People just want to start stuff.
I think they live in that Facebook world. People got too comfortable saying what they want to say whenever they want to say it, and it just bleeds out into the real world.
Okay.
Yeah, that's real right there. I definitely believe, like, I don't know about y'all, but when Trump was running for office and when he became president, that low-level threat of potential violence between us and them, it went from low level to medium level in every engagement. And you could tell it. They were ready to do something all the time. They were froggy all the time. And I think it's because their internet were different from mine. The stuff they were saying was very different from what I was seeing.
All right, y'all. It's going on about 2 hours. Before we go, let me ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Ro, you still with us?
I'm right here.
If you can go anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Maldives. Well, I take that back. Let me back up. If I was to just get away and not be seen for a while, I would go to Maldives. But I do want to have my DNA run, whatever proper word. And wherever I'm originally from, I would like to go touch that dirt. So it would be a toss up between and whatever is not convenient, but whatever I would, could afford to do, or whatever I could, afford to do at the time, I would like to do that. So either Maldives for just to get away, or go touch the dirt that my ancestors walked on.
That's what's ancestry.com.
Yeah, but I don't know if what they doing with that though. I mean,
I know what they're doing. They giving it to the government. They ain't getting my DNA.
That's the problem. That's the problem right there. And I just can't comfortably see going and just offering up my DNA, and I don't know if the results are correct or whatever. So if I had a source that I was confident in or whatever, I would like to see exactly where I was from and travel to that area.
I would like to know too. Curry, where would you go? You could go anywhere in the world.
Shit, but the road the answer that road got, I don't even know no more. I was gonna say Australia. You know what I'm saying? I don't know now. I really don't. But no, I think I'll still have to go down under. I just want to travel, see the world.
So if there's one place you would like to travel to, I guess that'd be basically the same question.
Yeah, it'll be Australia, the motherland. Go to Africa, somewhere. Run with the lion. Oh no, I ain't running with no lion. Run with with something that's not faster than me. Run with some type of animal.
In Africa, I don't know what that would
Oh, I'm gonna run with the African turtle.
There you go. That joke might be fair.
So I don't get hurt.
Where would you go?
To me?
Yes.
Listen,
I said.
Yeah, so my goal is to retire somewhere on the continent of Africa. And so between now and I get to that point, I plan on going to various countries, starting with Ghana, Senegalese, then Kenya. And through my travels, I'll figure out where else I want to go. But my goal is to find somewhere that feel like home and take my U.S. retirement dollars and make them do more in another country. So yeah, Africa. I'm not, I don't know. All these places they programmed us to want to like, I start realizing like, why do I like, there's nothing. All right, you asked me one question, but I talk too
No,
much.
go ahead.
I may get fired. Hey, but listen, they tell us go to Paris, go to London and Europe. Listen. That's where they from. That's what they are, their nostalgia. There's nothing great. The weather is bad in them places. They talk another language. They don't really connect. Their food is dramatically different from our palate, but they done put in our head. That's where we want to go. Be like, why? Anyway, I want to go somewhere where I'm not a minority. I'm tired of being a minority. I want to see what it feels like to be in the majority. I've never done it in my life. And I want to feel like I want to go somewhere and know for a fact my skin color ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. That's me.
That's what's up. I said I want to go to Africa too. I want to visit Sierra Leone, Ghana, Kenya, Senegal. I'll just,
Can I have one more?
Sure.
I want to go to Haiti.
Haiti.
Yes. I want to go to where we look.
Yeah.
Haiti is the reason we got Louisiana right now.
Yes.
If Napoleon went broke trying to fight us, and he couldn't win, and so he had to get some money. So he had to sell Louisiana to purchase to United States in order, because of Haiti. So I would love to see where we whooped them folks behind and kept our own country. So
I would love for our tribe to do an international trip in 2023 as a group, as a travel group, and we go somewhere as a travel group, international, have fun, learn about that place, and wherever it's at, right? But somewhere where we don't look like the minority. How about that?
Hey y'all, watching this YouTube channel, go ahead and sponsor us an Our Tribe international trip to Africa.
Sure.com. We're gonna definitely get that to the social event team.
Yeah, that's what's up.
And make that happen.
All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate everyone showing up. Thank you, Miss Phyllis. Sorry you couldn't stay up here longer. Ro, appreciate your time. Kirby came through. And always, Mr. That's What I Said, who's still here.
I ain't get fired today. Maybe. The pink slip may be in an email tomorrow.
So one word to
I regret to inform you.
Your services are no longer required.
I don't think so. When they get to hear you, they're gonna be like, "Where is he at?" All right. Whoo! I hear my homegirl over here yelling. She throwing me off because she keeps making noises in the background. Anyway, till next time. Yo, what's up? Before we go, Mr. That's What I Said. What do you have to say? Closing.
Hey, listen, let's stay in unity. Hey, go out and download the Our Tribe app. Let's try to build an economy. Pay attention to people that's voting. We catching hell in this country, but it's up to us to make it better. And it's our turn. So let's do it.
Let's do it. It's Sweetie C. Sweetie C. Now what? Talk to you later.